I've been into health and wellness for most all of my adult life, and I've tried to find the things that were most meaningful and made the biggest difference. And I've studied diet and exercise and sleep and sunlight and all these things. And I think most people that are into health and wellness are aware that those things are all important. And then they're also aware that, yeah, we should avoid toxins and we should detoxify. But that's about it. There aren't really any specifics that people get into in terms of getting rid of the toxins in a well-proven way. I respect the intuitive side of life, but I also respect the scientific side as well. I think a lot of times when we think of toxins, we think, oh, they're all around us, but we can detoxify. That's why we have our detoxification organs, and we're good, right? Well, humans as a species have been around for quite a long time. I'm not sure how long. I'm not sure which story to believe. But we've been here for a long time. And throughout all of human history, we weren't really exposed to the types of toxins that we are in the last couple hundred years. And we're exposed to very, very high levels of them. Everything from mercury from the coal-fired power plants going into the air, getting into the fish, to the dentist thinking mercury fillings are a good idea, okay? All sorts of toxins. If you're out and about driving your car in the wintertime, you see the car exhaust coming up, and that's what we're breathing. And we breathe it all year round. Toxins in our food. Are you guys all aware of all of this, the toxin stuff? Because I don't want to be too redundant about it. If you're into health and wellness, you're probably pretty aware of the problem. So the problem with most of these toxins is they affect our mitochondria, building block of our cells. And each of them by itself does significant damage to our health and wellness. But it's subtle and it's incremental. So we don't really notice it. You don't breathe car exhaust and then get sick the next day. But it builds up, it bioaccumulates. And you know where it accumulates? In our fat. Whether you're fat or skinny, we all have at least 10% body fat, and it stores in our fat. And over time, more and more stores. And the biggest indicator of how many toxins are in your body, you know what it is? It's how old you are. Because it's how long you've been polluting, how long you've been on this planet determines how many toxins are stored in your body, okay? So each of those toxins has an effect, and what's interesting is they have a negative synergistic effect with each other that hasn't even been studied. So if you have one toxin that's really bad and then two, they interact, and most people, according to the Environmental Working Group, when they've studied people's blood, they have like 200 to 300 toxins, and that's just of the ones they've tested for. So we literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of toxins floating around in our bloodstream. And we wonder why we're tired and we have brain fog and we're grumpy and our hormones aren't right. A lot of it is because of these circulating toxins and the stored toxins. And the toxins also lead to all sorts of disease, from diabetes, cancer, heart disease. All the major ones are connected largely with toxic exposure. So there's a significant problem. So we have to get rid of the toxins. And there are a lot of popular ways of detoxifying. There's juice cleanses, there's intermittent fasting, there's herbal cleanses, all of these things. But most of them just address our circulating toxins. They're not really addressing the toxins where they're stored, which is in our fat. And that's where we have to get rid of them, is in our fat. From the fat, we have to get rid of them from the fat, because when you lack energy, you know where your body gets energy from? Your fat stores. So when you're tired, you're running out of energy, your body says, oh, I need some fuel. So it grabs some fat to burn, but guess what it gets with the fat? A bunch of toxins. And then your body's like, I need the energy, but I don't need the toxins. And then it tries to actually make more fat, because it's like, oh, we have too many toxins circulating, so I need more fat to store it. And it's this vicious cycle. So we have to get rid of the toxins from our fat. And there are three parts of getting rid of toxins that are really important. Most people think, well, I just need to mobilize toxins and I'm good. Well, you have to mobilize the toxins that are stored, but then you have to capture the toxins. You've heard of bentonite clay and chlorella, and some of these things are binding agents that help actually capture the toxins. And then we have to excrete them. So any protocol that doesn't do that doesn't have all those elements, is really, really lacking. So I think detoxification is really important. I've done 17-day water fast, water only fast to detoxify. That's before I learned about this, and a 20-day water fast. And I'm super healthy. I mean, I exercise, I eat right, I do all the things right, but I live on planet Earth, so I'm exposed to these things. And those things really did help me significantly. But that's not, most people don't have the time or the ambition to seemingly start. It's not as bad as it sounds, by the way. Most of us are like, oh, I missed a meal, I'm going to die. So they think, well, gosh, if I went over a week. But it's not, after a few days, it's not so bad. But there is a better way to detoxify. And I learned about a detoxification protocol. It's called the Andy Cutler one. One of my members mentioned that. And they said it's like 3 to 5 years to detoxify properly. And I'm thinking, wow, that's great if somebody has that sort of ambition, but most people want something that they can do without having to starve themselves, without having to take 3 to 5 years. They want something that really works, that's effective, and not only is effective, but not just testimonials, but wouldn't it be nice if there was a protocol that was proven to work? In other words, one that, like professionals, when the Gulf War veterans come back and they're filled with toxins and they're really sick, what protocol do they use for those people? When oil spill cleanup workers come and they're filled with toxins, what do they use for them? The September 11th firefighters were exposed to all those toxins, what do they do for them? Well, the answer is all the same. It's the protocol I'm going to tell you about in just a second. So this protocol has been tested on tens of thousands of people over many, many decades. Now, the thing is there's not really any money in this. This isn't a body wrap I can sell you. This isn't a juice cleanse package I can sell you. It's not a gimmick. It's just a few basic steps, and you're actually able to get rid of the toxins. So that's why it hasn't really been popularized, in my opinion. Decided when I learned about this a few years ago, I thought, you know what? I have a background in sales and marketing. I'm going to share this with the world. I'm going to get this out there so that people in our toxic world can take back their health. Because I can guarantee you, if you do this protocol, you will dramatically improve your health. Independent, these are peer-reviewed journal studies, show that you get an average IQ increase of 7 points. And if you look at the bell curve of IQ, 7 points is huge. It's dramatic. I mean, it's not linear. It's a bell curve, so it's really significant. So the basic idea of this protocol, a guy by the name of L. Ron Hubbard came up with this protocol. I don't know if any of you know L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, I have two.
He was the founder of Scientology, okay? Now, I promise if you do this protocol, you will not become a Scientologist. I promise you. You'll get rid of the toxins, but you won't change your religion. You can still believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not affiliated with the church or the organization. I just take good ideas from wherever. I don't care who comes up with them. And I suggest you do the same thing. Just take good ideas from wherever they're at. So what he found in the 1960s is he found the niacin flush. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever taken too much niacin and you felt like you had a sunburn. That's called the niacin flush. And what that is that's called lipolysis, which is your fat cells essentially rupturing and letting go of the toxins. Now, it's not unhealthy because when you lose weight quickly, it happens. When you exercise, it happens as well. It's just a way of artificially making it happen with a supplement. So what you do is you take high-dose niacin. Now, by the way, this is an overview, okay? I'm not saying, hey, go home and do this, okay? Some people think that and they hear an oversimplified version like Dr. Mercola, America's #1 natural health doctor. He learned about this and he put a video online, and it's the most exciting protocol that he's ever seen because it doesn't have the toxic side effects that some of the chelating agents have. So he believes, as do most wellness professionals that learn about this protocol, they believe it's the best that there is. But there are some nuances to these steps. But the basic idea is you take niacin, and then you do some exercise. Ideally, you go for a run if you can. Gets the lymphatic system going. But some people do an exercise bike or jump on the trampoline or just walk up and down the stairs. And then you get into a sauna, preferably an infrared sauna, because they detoxify much quicker. And then you go in the sauna for about an hour, and you sweat out the toxins. So the niacin releases the toxins from your fat cells. You move around, it gets the toxins circulating in your bloodstream, and then you're in the sauna and you're sweating all the toxins out. Then you go take a shower afterwards. You take some special supplements that help replace the lost minerals, vitamins, electrolytes, and also some binding agents that help to capture the toxins as well. Do that every day for 3 to 4 weeks, and you've gotten rid of the toxins from decades of toxins. I did the protocol after doing the water fast, after living on the side of a mountain, drinking spring water, exercising every day, and I noticed a dramatic improvement in my cognition. Ben Greenfield, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. He's a fitness expert around here. He's a friend of mine. He has a national podcast, super healthy guy. He learned about this protocol. He got excited about it. He did the protocol and he did a podcast on it, and he noticed a dramatic increase in mental performance as well. Because what is our brain made out of? No offense, fatheads, but it's fat, right? And so that's where the toxins are stored, and so that affects our thinking ability. So that's the protocol. It's super effective, and you ideally want to do the protocol. It's normally done by practitioners. So a practitioner will supervise you during the protocol, and they're able to really help you to dose the niacin right. And then when you're feeling some of the detox reactions, which are common, people have their sunburns reoccur because they're actually detoxifying that. Some people have drug trips. This is actually the protocol they use in Narconon, which has been around for like 20 or 30 years for people who have troubles getting off drugs. And their success rate is incredible because they get rid of the body burden of drugs, so they don't have the cravings that they did before. So getting rid of those toxins, super effective in Narconon, super effective if it's done right. Traditionally in the protocol, when you read the book, they would be in a sauna for 4 hours. 4 to 4.5 hours a day. Okay, and that's the way the protocol is traditionally done, because back then you had to stay in the sauna that long to get the toxins out. Dietrich Klinghardt, I don't know any naturopathic people have heard of him. He teaches other naturopathic doctors. He found that the sweat from an infrared sauna contains about 4 times the toxins as the sweat from a traditional sauna, because the infrared goes in and really gets rid of the fat-soluble toxins. Your sweat's really oily is what people report. So we believe that in about an hour a day in an infrared sauna, you can get rid of the toxins. And Anita, I spent several months researching saunas. I have the luxury of lots of time and an analytical mind. So I researched saunas, and she said, wow, okay, Brett, what's the best one if this infrared worked better? And sauna that has no EMF, certified no chemicals, and has the best heaters. That's actually the guy who patented the first no EMF sauna. What I recommend is if I piqued your interest, I recommend that you buy a book from me. Some people do it on their own, but I did it on my own. I'm super healthy, so I had a margin for error, and then later I'm like, talking to Anita, I'm like, oh, I did it all wrong in terms of dosing and time and all that, because I just didn't know what I was doing. So a person could get a sauna. They could do it on their own. And they could consult with Anita. They could do a hybrid of it. Either way, you're to get a decent sauna that's no EMF, and I consult with people every day on saunas, it's a couple grand minimum for a decent sauna. So, yeah. So either way, you're going to invest a couple $1,000s in your health, but I can tell you that it's the best investment. I mean, what better investment is there than your health? Yeah, and doing a sauna every day is a great thing. I try to do one every day after I exercise. So that is what I have to say about this detoxification method. Trust me, it's a lot better than going 17 days without food. And you get rid of more toxins that way. Hi, and thanks for listening. I've dedicated hundreds of hours learning this protocol and putting it together in a very usable format for folks to understand. I've created a Facebook group that has files and loads of very useful yet simplified information. It's very important that you get the right information before buying a sauna or before engaging in this protocol. You want to join the group, which is on the screen. Go ahead and type that in your browser. Join our group. You can read about this. You can learn about the benefits of what it does for you. And this protocol will absolutely change your life in a very meaningful way. Anyone who's been exposed to these toxins, which is everyone on the planet, can benefit significantly from this protocol. So share this video with your friends, join the group, and it will change your life. Tens of thousands of people do this protocol every year and get spectacular results. They get amazing results. They're very happy. They lose weight. They have more energy, and you can do the same thing. It's not very difficult to do once you learn it. Join the group. There's a bunch more information there, and be sure to share this with your friends. I'm very passionate about helping others to detoxify because it's such an overlooked thing in our society. I have dedicated this time and effort because I believe that it will make such a meaningful difference in people's lives. So please help me with this mission to help detoxify the world by sharing this with your friends and by joining the group. I look forward to seeing you there.